everybody. Happy Monday and happy birthday to Thomas Christ. This is the Leelaverse. I'm Leela, and this is the APPy Hour. We're going to destroy some sounds today with Wavebox and GRXS. Oops. We're going to destroy some sounds today with Wavebox. I was watching Tease on my phone, and now I can hear me. I don't know if you can, but ha ha ha! Woohoo! Sweet! Let me say hi to a few people who have popped over from Thomas. Jim Shannon. Well, actually, I'm just going to turn the comments on. There we go. We got Jim Shannon. We got Jamie Lynn. We got the Pie. We have Doug Kidder. We have Thomas Christ, the birthday boy. St. Bradley example of the Canadian examples, and Ed Zielinski, woohoo, Clayton Von Kaluge, and Driven to Right. That's all the people that I see in the front row. She's tapping me. If this is, don't start drinking too soon. You can use coffee for this drinking game, but every time she taps me, you're supposed to take a sip. Meow, Hugh. The Pie says hello as well. Sweet. Good times. Popping in, popping out. This is my link tree. It's up here in the corner, as you may imagine. Whoops. Or is it? Because I don't see it. Let's go check. Check banners, media assets, my logo. Hey, there it is. Good times. And there's a joiny join. Ali! Right on. You can all see the little comments going by as the Pie eats stuff and messes up my green screen. I'm a wannabe Canadian. I hear that. Happy birthday, TC. I'm not going to sing it to you because that's an automatic hit from the YouTube copyright people. I'm just going to bring in my new iPad, Ilya. She's the star of the show along with the Pie. I'm just here to just kind of make sure that the Pie is fed and that Isla's buttons are pressed. So right now we're going to work on very cool stuff called Wavebox and GRFX. I'm not going to go deeply into either one of them because Jade has already done that. And there's also manuals and things on the internet. What we're going to do is get straight to destroying some sounds so you can make a decision on whether, if you're a person who doesn't know anything, that you would like to use this to destroy your own sounds. I'm going to pop my friend Ilya in here. Hey, covered by CQ. Welcome. Boom. Right on. And I need my glasses, of course. There we go. That you don't know anything? Sweet. Hey, that's not okay. None of that, sweetie. You've gotten your treats. That's 3 taps, by the way, for the tapping crowd. All right, let's get this party started. I'm going to bring up my AUM project. I'm just going to play this for you real quick, and you can kind of see what I put together. It tastes so good. It's very industrialized. Now let's solo. There's our drums and things. Now we'll take off the GRFX. Let's see how that sounds, right? It also sounds good. All right, now we'll try this. Here we're gonna use my mouse. Here we go. So let's solo out this. This is Spelldosa. This is what it sounds like by itself. That's just like a little sound box, right? Now it sounds all broken. Hey, Heathen Granny, happy Pride. Now it just sounds completely messed up. All right, we'll take that off. Now we'll solo out our guitar. And this is just a plain dry guitar. And this time we have our wave box on top. You can see it's this sort of squishing, and you can see the wave shaper smooshing, and then you can see the filter kind of smooshing back and forth. So then we take and we'll grain that, right? We'll show you what we've got here. This is called Carousel Dreams. So what's going on here is we've got pitch bending going on via the internal LFOs. So if you've seen Jade's tutorial, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, let's stop that. You can see how it kind of, the Spelldosa one just sort of continues for a minute here. Will it continue? This is broken tremolo resonant. Huh, wow. So this has got some ongoing stuff. I'll have to turn it straight on down. Right, so let's just get rid of this now. I'll save it in case I changed something. Now we'll clear it out. We'll just quickly look at the App Store so you can see what apps we are talking about here. They are two really cool apps, and they are, let's go, Wavebox. Okay, Wavebox is a dynamic dual wave shaper plugin that can be used for, it's basically distortion, symmetrical and asymmetrical distortion. A wave shaper is a type of distortion in which the input signal is mapped to the output by applying a fixed or variable shaping function. Wavebox has two separate wave shapers that can be mixed together while being modulated by two LFOs and one envelope follower. It is wave with an E. And we've got in the description, I have links to the developer website versions of both, because they both have a place to click into what you want to do. So you can design your own wave shaping curves. You can get a mild sort of tube overdrive to an extreme digital harshness. Yikes. So let's see if I think this is it. We've got not GRFX, so we'll get a new one. We'll get my Hey, Kubrick, Love in 1972. Right on. Let's go. Make sure we're in there. We're a wave box audio thing. Whoops. Here we go. Boom. So here, right in at Wavebox, it's currently 61% off. It's $19 on desktop. So this is just what I read there. Anyway, so there's an overview from AudioThing. There's a set of things you can listen to. So here we go. Let's just read about symmetrical versus asymmetrical. When a shaping function is applied equally to both the positive and negative part of the signal, symmetrical wave shaping, odd harmonics are generated. Instead, when a shaping function is applied only to either the positive or the negative part, asymmetrical wave shaping, even harmonics are generated. In asymmetrical mode, the first shaping function is applied to the positive part while the second shaping function is applied to the negative. The bias in this case controls an offset added between the positive and negative part of the signal. In symmetrical mode, both shaping functions are applied to the whole signal. The bias in this case controls the mix between the two functions. Pretty cool. Hey, Chad Freeman, what's up? So it just adds edge and all kinds of cool stuff. So anyway, there's like you can demo it for free. Silence every 3 seconds every 45 seconds. Your saving is disabled. So you can authorize your demo version. So it's Mac OS, Windows, Linux, and iOS. So let's see. Then under support, I believe. Anyway, download the manual. So here it is right here. So you can get the manual. And here it is. It's 8 pages of good stuff, right? So next up, we have GRFX. That is a granular effect. Let's hit up our App Store just quickly to discuss what that is. So GRFX is a powerful and creative granular effects processor that turns ordinary audio into extraordinary sonic landscapes. So you slice your sound up into grains. Grains are just little tiny slices of your sound, and then you reshape them into evolving textures, shimmering chords, rhythmic glitches, haunting drones, and more. At the heart of GRFX, and this is what's cool about this particular granular effect, is they have a harmonic triangle. It's an intuitive 3-way pitch controller that lets you morph simple tones into lush pads, arpeggiated patterns, or abstract gestures. Whether you're aiming for organic soundscapes or synchronized stutters, GRFX gives you precise control over the flow of grains and modulation. You build complexity with 4 self-modulating LFOs, a multi-effects chain with probabilistic routing, and an elegant drag and drop modulation system. Shape your sound, modulate nearly every parameter, and sculpt immersive audio transformations in real time. Damn, this is so cool. And again, this is the Imaginando support right here. So when you're at imaginando.pt, that's where you can find GRFX. You can find links for desktop and iOS. And you can find all kinds of information on how to operate it. But let's just go to it because, again, we've got other really amazing tutorials for this. I'm just trying to get you kind of, warmed up. All right. So first thing we need to do is get sort of a plain sounding audio source. Let's try maybe a piano here. Because pianos, everyone knows about piano. So you can get an idea of how distorted you can get rolling here. And then we'll need like some MIDI to drive it because I can't do 2 things at once. So we'll just grab a Waymaker. And we'll connect it to MIDI, and then we'll change our step sequencer to a morph. And maybe not quarter notes, maybe like half notes. How about actually whole notes? Full whole notes. And we'll just get these nice long things that we can just mess with. Right. So then now we connect it. So here, I'll show you what I'm doing. I tapped on the hamburger. Then we tap Waymaker. Perfect. In this case, we're not doing anything. We can just make a sound. Now, that's pretty plain. So first, we'll show you what Wavebox does separately. So already it's just a little bit gritty. This is our init. And as you can see, your init patch has so this plus and minus, right? Hang on. There should be tooltips. So your online manual is right here in your hamburger. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Huh. Anyway, well then guess what? So I saved the manual to books. By the way, if you're in, let's just go straight from that. We have our Wavebox user guide. So if you want to save your user guides on an iPad, you tap the share sheet, and then whoops, not messages. I don't want to send that to somebody. You scroll over to the right and you click on this more, and then if you scroll down, you'll find books. I've already done this, so open up books. So let's open books. Books. And here we are in Wavebox. So let's just go to our just to look at where is everything. Whoops. Oh, all right. So here's your parameters. Asymmetrical plus and minus chooses the behavior, the shaping functions, and the bias control. All right. So on, whoops. On is light. You heard hamburger. You heard right. So I've turned it on asymmetrical. It's really hard to see. So you come in here and you just change your curves. So see, this is asymmetrical. That's why we have two different. Wow. See, right there. That curve is all curved out. Very low curve. It's like a higher curve in the positive. Now let's mess with the bias. So this messes us to curve 1. This biases you to curve 2. This is good at the second. So ceiling. This is just a thing. And that's insane. So that already you've got quite a bit. But then you can throw on an LFO. So let's pick something. Let's pick this curve right here. Now we'll turn it on. Hey, Scrabble bees. See? That's nuts, huh? We can even change our... That's different with a triangle wave. Did a little bit. Really fast. Sync. Now it's syncing to the beat. Now it's syncing on the half note. Hey, some Texaco. All right. Now we'll throw in. So we've got this filter on. So you can see your filter. Let's turn up the resonance so we can tell what's going on here. Now we're in a good spot. Well, if we put it on pre, that's pretty cool. So let's now set our second LFO to cutoff. And we'll choose a random wave. And we'll sync again at 1/16. And now turn it on. Now you can see right down here. And then you just mess with your cutoff, with your initial cutoff. See? Hey, Shelly Michelle Morrison, what's up? Now you've even got an envelope follower. Now this is nuts. We'll turn this on and we'll have a destination. Let's have a resonance destination. Now the resonance is all, it is not a final destination. Hey, Easy Herbs. So now say this is exactly how I want it. So, but also you can do oversampling. 16x oversample. You can turn on a hard clip. You can turn your output level up. Now this is mixed at 50%. We'll mix it to 0. Yep, and now you have nothing but a dry piano. But now let's mix it all the way to 100. Now you can hear more of that. That sounds way different than a piano, doesn't it? There's like blip, 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 blip. All right, now let's save it. We click the save. New preset name. I'll call it electronic wine. Now, let's take that back off and let's add a GRFX. We just quickly went through all the little bits and pieces, so now, but listen to that. This is just your init. So this is much, much, much more complicated, right? But it's really not as bad as you think. You can, whoa. So notice this, the reason it's doing all this is you check these little hamburgers in the LFOs. At the top, we've got LFOs. And remember, Imaginando at their site has a help. It's easy. You can just look at it. There's a granulator engine in the middle. There's a LFO on the top, and there is an effects rack underneath. It's not that hard. See, we'll get back. So if we don't like just imagine, so there's no LFOs running, nothing's connected. So all we have here is, let's turn it down to 1. So underneath you can see the things. Also, at the very top here, where my cursor is, you can see a question mark. And if you question mark, then when you're when you're doing something, there'll be a description right here at the bottom. So just look what we've got now. I was just doing grains. So it says grains are fired in cycles with frequency controlling cycle length and offset the read position, each one with sync options. Grains determines how many grains play per cycle. So frequency, half notes. Let's make them really fast. So now we're synced to 1/32 notes. Now look at that. Boop, 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 boop. See? Now we're 46 milliseconds. Now it's kind of starting in the middle of it. Now our offset's synced too. Let's set our offset to a half. See? And that's just... Now I don't know what these randoms do. Let's go look what random does. See, that's the thing. You can easily go check. Here's our granulator. Right there. So the union of various simultaneous fragments is the basis of this effect. The left half of the granulator panels the speed and number of grains. Each grain reads from a buffer, continuously recording the input audio. Now that's cool, yeah? So now let's hit these randoms. So both frequency and offset have dedicated random controls. The frequency's random control will randomize the trigger time of the grains, making them erratic rather than periodic. The offset's random control randomizes the position in the buffer that grains will start from. A value of 50% will make the grain play up to half of the buffer size back, while a value of 0 will start the grains as close as possible to the right position. Introducing randomness to the offset is efficient in capturing different bits of audio from the buffer, making the output less homogeneous. Now this would be cool if you were using like a sample or something that you were playing. Let's pick something like that. Let's just get an audio. We're in, what are we in? We're in C major, so let's get a riffler in here like I had before. We'll do a riffler flow. We'll open this up. We'll do a preset. Let's see. We'll see if we can major melodic. Here we go. Find our tone, and we'll just make it dry. Now we're going to copy this exact setting over here. There are 4 LFOs in GRFX. That's the insanity right here. So if it's easy to get used to this, if you just look, you can see that like your buffer is right here underneath here. Your LFOs, they're not doing anything. So everything is pretty much just kind of mellow. We just have a little bit of A, a little bit of B. Got some like other time syncs. We got effects rack 2 multi-chains. This is effect. There's a delay, a quarter note delay. That shows you a little bit of what's happening. And then you have a reverb, which also works. Yeah, I love this too. You can even you can use this little thing in the center to start morphing your just morphing it around. But let's let's use a LFO. So all you need to do is click on the LFO, and then you come over here and you just drag it somewhere. Let's drag it over to this filter. I like filter cutoffs as a... There we go. And then when you touch the hamburger, you'll see that there's a cutoff. So I'm just gonna move it so that it moves about that much. Now you can see if you make your screen larger, you can see right here on this cutoff that there's a little green line and it's just moving. So make sure, let's sync it. Now you can see how the cutoff is just going. Now you can see the shape, the phase, the offset, the rate. Let's change this to a totally different 1/8. There's no 1/8 notes in here. Turn that resonance up. Yeah, there's delays upon delays. Okay, just tap it again and you're back to your screen. Whee! And then you can just start doing things like right up here in the center is that harmonic triangle. The best part is that you can just say major. You can just have a major chord going on. A major 5 diminished, major 6th, major 7th, right? Insane. I'm just gonna go back there's minors. Let's just go back to major because we're in C major. So there's so many little ways, and this is with 1 grain. Now we got 5 grains. Let's make sure we're soloed. Yeah, we're soloed. So now we're going to introduce some random. Let's change our frequency random. Let's turn it way up. Like 81%. And now let's turn our offset. Now it's a different part. And as you can tell, we have here's our dry wet mix right here. It's right here in the bottom right hand corner. Not scales exactly, but chords. So this is totally dry. Now we were only at like 25% wet. Now let's make it 100%. That doesn't sound anything like their original, does it? And again, if you want to know all about this mixer stuff, but like for example, let's take this number 2 LFO, right? It's not doing anything. So let's sync it to, it's not attached to anything yet. I'm going to go with whole note. There it is, 1. It's synced 1. Now let's drag it. Let's drag it to this dry wet knob. And then we want it to go down. Now it's just going to sit there and you'll hear more and less. That's just insane, right? See, now and again, we'll tap that hamburger and now you'll see. And you can just remove your LFOs by popping them off. Now it's gone. Yay! I just tapped the get rid of button. Now let's undo this. And now let's why don't we take See, we can move. Let's take the grains and move the grains up and down. So now we're on grains. All right, so we're going to move this one up. Now every bar, see how now the grains are going up? So it just does all kinds of crazy stuff. Buffer controls. Set the buffer length with size, align it to tempo with sync, and pause input with freeze. So we can actually just pause the input right here. Now it's just going over the same thing over and over again. Now we unpause it. And now it keeps going. So this doesn't sound anything like what we have. So let's find a good sounding default. So one of the ways, let's go back to default. So see here, we can filter when you're in. Now once again, right here, let's double check. So now we can go revert. That's our original default state. So right there next to the question mark is revert. And so if you've messed up your presets so much, but actually you can use that for a live performance too. You can start messing and messing and messing, and then when you want it to go back, you let it go back. Like if all of a sudden you wanted to be like let's take this LFO number 3 and drag it to the X axis of this little thing. And then I'm going to use the hamburger to mess with it. Now you can hear listen to that pitch. Let's hamburger. Now you see right in here, that pitch is like messing around. It's just flying around. Now we'll turn the wet all the way up. So this is a great way to turn some amazing. So let's see if we can find so now if you want, let's just say you want only ambient. So let's try this. 5th stream, ambient, lush, modulated, pitch shifted, reverb, smooth, cloud, chord. Now let's just look at it. And you can see stuff that's going on in here. Like you've got an LFO that's changing. Nope, it doesn't look like it is changing. So you've got your dry wet mix really low. See you later, Jim Shannon. So it's got a distortion and a phaser. It's got no LFOs. It's just sounding really cool. Now, so again, we're just on ambient. Now, oscillating shimmer. Sounds beautiful. Okay, we've got this pad of fifths. Ambient, bright, harmonic, organic, swarm, smooth. If we want to destroy, though, let's take glitchy. Intermittency. Signals from far away. Hey, Zach Thong. So glitchy, experimental, harsh, saturated. And then you can so we've got this, so now let's wave shape it. Why not? Now we've got something that we don't hate. Let's throw in a wave box. Now all of a sudden it's so much more like saturated. And now let's check a couple of these. Like put it on alarm tone. Bad connection. Bad tail. Bass Buster. Breathing Overdrive. Now just take a look at what that looks like. So as you can see, your asymmetrical is on because you've got one oscillating by itself. You have these same functions. Your ceiling's really high. You got a 4 times over sample going on. Your LFO1 is on with curve 2 as the designation, which is why it's just sort of, see how it's just sort of breathing? Now one. Broken Tremolo Resonant. Now this one has resonance, and you can actually watch the filter, and you can see how it's just sort of breathing down there, right at the base, flaring because of the resonance. Now if we move the cutoff, so we've even got the volume going up and down. So you could put a separate LFO on here. Let's do. So the way you would do that would be to come into MIDI, and you can use MLFO. See, so we've already got some LFO stuff. So we've got this CC1. Now we'll come in here and we'll come up to the little corner bit and take your MIDI source, pick MLFO output 1. Now you go back and we're going to go to cutoff. So you'll roll it down, roll, roll, roll. Filter cutoff right here. Now we'll turn that on. Right? Hey, Miss Stephanie, what's up? So we're just, now that's insane, right? But let's go over and fix that. We want to change like the minimum and the maximum. So you can kind of see you right where you want it to be. We might want that to go a little slower. So take the rate, or at 1/64th, 1/16th. That's 0.167 beats. 1/8 triplet, 4 bars. Two bars is nice. I kind of like 2 bars right there. See, so already got a plain dry guitar. It just sounds like nuts. But I could just take this. I could take these. Let's make a mix bus. So let's receive from bus A, and we're going to do something else to it. So we'll move this to A. We'll move this to A. Now our signals are coming in together. Now we could put something nutty on here like a sculpture. First we'll choose our bands. Resonant sounds best here. Now we come to cycles. Now let's get our bass level up. Now you've got, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Can add a little noise. Can saturate it. Now you've got it all like motion. Now we've got C major run-ins. Let's just throw in, why not? We'll throw in a little launch pad to give us a, and of course they're both really great on drums, just to crunch up your drums. But I've already got some, let's not use industrial. Rock soundtrack. Here we go. And you have to set it to A minor because we've only got minors here, so it's A minor 60. Okay, here we go. Let's add a little wave box on here. See, that's just the init. Let's see if there's something on there for drums. Drum cruncher. Yeah. Nice. Now let's add some, let's pick a different drum. And let's take and use GRFX on our other drum. Let's use a J-Amp percussive because it gives us see, it's giving us a little bit of, so our sequencer. Yeah, we got a little mutate going. Now we're going to add a GRFX. Crunch. Now we're going to pick this drum one. So here, now what I do is I'm going to choose rhythmic. And then we've got drum me. Wow. Drum me high. Drum me low. Drum me more. Drum me more low. Drum me more high. That's pretty awesome. I'll pick one of these. More. There we go. Damn. Now let's do something crazy. Let's get vocals in here. Push this away. I always have to add a little Medusa. Yeah. Woo! Now let's throw in some just a little wave box. Let's find a vocal crusher one. Here we go. Crush vocal. Crush, baby, crush. Crush, baby, crush. Woo! Now some GRFX. Yeah, crush! Baby, crush! Crush! Baby, crush! Let's find something vocally. Vocal enhancer. Right. Detuned, pitch shifted, smooth. Now, like, we could mess it up. We could do something, make it crazier. Maybe more graves. Maybe more randomness. Oh, wow, that's fucking cool. Yeah! Alright, let's get that music back in here. Now bringing it back to the solo again. Just so crazy, right? What if we changed? Now, it's reversed. Now we have the GRFX in front of it. Now let's go back. Not as cool. Yeah. This is like free. Yeah. So I'm going to try one more thing now. Yeah, I treat you well. Yeah. 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 Fuck yeah, that's so cool. Now we'll try Carousel Dreams. Yeah! This one's got the weirdness. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, That's insane, right? See you later, cubes. That's just nuts, right? Holy gosh, you guys. I think you guys probably might have seen enough to know that this, with very little, right, word up, right? See you later, cubes. So with very little actual, like, it looks really complicated, but it's not that hard to make insane sounds and completely just mangle stuff and have so much fun. That's ridiculous. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to With My Face super quick, and then we're going to head on over to Jade's. I've got an automatic dump set for you. The fun is playing with the knobs. That's right. So, yes. All right. Jade's coming up next. She's doing a couple really incredible sound packs for Soundbox. They are something guitars. Really, really cool. Tomorrow, I'm going to let ChatGPT tell me what I should do to make my channel better. Wednesday, I have a new effects chain for my guitar, and on Friday night, Midnight Chill is gonna be on Friday night, Midnight Chill is going to be number 23, and it's gonna include chilling. Good times. Right on. All right, everyone. Jade is up next. Post-rock guitars 1 and 2 for Soundbox by I don't think it's by Compose Audio, but you get it. Anyway, I'll see you guys later on. Biggest love to everybody and all the peace you can carry. Thank you all so much for your kind words, support, and just for being here. Bye-bye. Sonora Cinematic.